What is new, my Mystic crew? So here we have round one of the day. We are up against Dan, and he is playing not Metaphys, oh god, Metaphys, I believe that's what it's called. So I'm going to start off by activating Circular, pitching the Sigma to the grave to special summon itself. I then go to attempt to activate Sigma, which is absolutely fine, which is wonderful because I do know Dan likes to play his Bestials, so the fact that's gone through has made me happy. Here we can see Dan's hand a little bit there in the camera. Obviously I cannot see this while we're playing, but yeah, so we search that superfactorial, which is the circular effect when another Mathmech is normal or special summoned. Now we overlay them into Prime Mathmech Alibertion, which has the on-summon effect of detach 2 to add a Mathmech card from deck to hand. All of which is going through, which is great, and I add the diameter to hand. I'll just double check, see what I've got. I normal summon the diameter here, which allows us to special summon another Mathmech monster back from our grave. So we special summon back the circular. It does come back in defense, and their effects are negated. But here I link them off, going into that Splash Mage. Let's get splashing, and there we go. So here we activate the Splash Mage effect to special summon the monster back in defense, but again the effects are negated. But that's okay, it's not staying for long because we link them off into Transcode. Transcode effect brings back a level 3, a link 3 or lower link monster to a zone it points to, which is of course Splash Mage, and then we activate subtraction, minusing Splash Mage by 1000 to special summon itself, but then we link them off into the Heat Soul. We give the deck a shuffle and get our opponent to give it a cut so we can draw a card, because you never go into your deck without your opponent cutting it first, just to make sure that there is no funny business going on. So we pay 1000 life points and draw a card, and from here we have two untargetable monsters which powered up to 28 and 33 respectively. I'm looking into terahertz here, just thinking, do I check everything in? And the answer to that is yes I do. I check everything into terahertz here. He is a Link 5 monster with some cool effects, the first one of which is, of course, you can send any monster from your extra deck or main deck to the graveyard and he gains 2500 attack. He also, if you send a different attribute to what he already is, he takes on that attribute as a second or third attribute and gains that many attacks per battle phase. But because they're both dark, he only has the one attack, but he is currently sitting at 5500, and I set one card face down. There's me taking off 1000 life points for the Heat Soul search, and I pass turn here. As we can see, he draws the Ash Blossom here, which is, let's be fair, like one turn too late, which I'm sure that's what he's thinking. Here you see the misplay. I send the aggregator. The aggregator is not a quick effect. It is when it's sent, it negates. So I've basically just sent a monster to the graveyard for the sake of having it in the grave. It does nothing for me. But hey ho, we've got a spell trap negate in the grave, and we have now an 8k monster on the field. So he sets a monster and sets a back row and goes to the end phase. In the end phase, we activate Superfactorial. We bring back our 3 Mathmechs in the grave and go into Prime Mathmech Alibertion. We detach all 3, which now sends a monster from his field, a spell or trap from his field, and rips a card from his hand. So here he lays out his cards. He has 4 cards, so we roll a dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 being re-rolls, and we get a 2. So that shoots off that card. Not entirely sure what the spell card does, but that was his end phase, and he's now left on absolutely nothing, and we have an 8k monster on the field. We draw for turn, activate the effect just to send another one to make him 10-5, because, you know, shits and gigs, or at least that's what I was going to do, but he decided to scoop it up, and we just moved to game 2. Fully do not blame him at all, because there's nothing he could do. Absolutely nothing, which is a shame, but hey ho. We move into game 2. Dan plays some wonderful jank decks, and it is funny most of the time. I always have a great time dueling against Dan. Absolutely one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life, and like I said, just so funny dueling against him. I believe I'm going to be going second here, so I look to change the deck up a little bit. Only by 3 cards, as you can see there. I can't honestly remember what I side in here. I know it's not anti-spells. I know it's not Dark Ruler No More, or even it could be our evenly matched, to be fair. I can't remember, but I take out the draw on Lockbird because I decide that's not going to do us any favours in this matchup. So I take out the draw and I side in, I have 3 copies of evenly matched. We do drop one there, which thankfully Dan doesn't see, and then we move on. So it is all fun and games from here. Like I said, it is... Dan likes to play like 50, 60 card builds, as he calls them, his pile of jank, and like I say, he is great to play against. The absolutely wonderful guy to play against. We do the hard shuffle because, of course, we have sided and we've done a combo play, so we don't want our deck to be all piled together, so we want it mixed up as possible, so we can, actually crack on and get some stuff done. So from here, we move into the round. Dan is just finishing siding. We've just finished shuffling, and it's time to get on with it. So I confer with Dan what he wants to do. He does decide to go first, I believe. Sometimes though with Dan, he does like to throw a curveball and make you go second. But, that's fine. Evenly match helps us whether we go first or second, realistically. So we're covered either way. If you are enjoying the content, or if you're new here, if this has come across your For You page on YouTube, by all means, please do drop us a like and a follow, or subscribe, and be much appreciated. So here we now move into game 2. So we draw our 5 starting hand. And here we go. So we can see a little bit of Dan's hand there. He doesn't look as if he's got much what he can do, but then I'm not overly familiar with these cards. He throws down 2 face downs and passes turn. So, okay, cool. I'm assuming he bricked a little bit there. I start off by normal summoning the Firewall Defensor. We link him off into the Link Rebo. When Defensor is sent to the graveyard as link material, you do get special summon a different Firewall monster from your deck. He does train that here with the Dimension Shifter, which, not going to lie, it hurts. We do not like being shifted, because all of our cards require him to go to the grave to affect them. We can't special summon Circular from hand because you have to send one to the deck. We can't really do anything. So we get our Firewall Guardian because we believe that's still our best play, because he does have a 2k booty. He has a big defense. I set 1 card, I set 2 cards, and decide to proceed to battle, and I just poke him for 300 because why the fuck not? At least we have a Trap Negate also on the field in the Lingaribo, which a lot of people do tend to forget. Hell, even I tend to forget that sometimes. But he is a Trap Negate. So we move it. Dan moves on to his turn, and he draws his Driver there. As you can see, he always opens Driver, but he banishes his Dimension Shifter for the Chaos Angel. Here, I can't remember what Chaos Angel does, but he's having a good think about things. I'm having a look through my hand. He just decides to move to battle phase and swing into our Lingaribo, and I take 1500. So quite a slow opening start here, but now we're no longer under Shifter. We are good to go. We are going to pop off. So because we're no longer under Shifter, first things first, what we do here is we activate Circular, because we can. So from here, we have a little think. I believe I just send the Sigma because we don't have a monster in that extra monster zone, so therefore Sigma can just come back. But no, I send the Diameter. No idea what I was thinking there. But we have the Circular on the field. Like I said, not entirely sure why I've gone in Diameter. I've normal summoned another Circular, because if I went Maybe I just didn't click. Maybe I didn't realise I didn't have a monster in the extra zone, because realistically that doesn't happen often. But we set the superfactorial, which is absolutely fine. It gives us what we need moving forward. I think maybe that's why I went with the diameter, just so that's in the grave for as and when we need it. Activate the Fireball Guardian effect because he's just been sent to the graveyard as link material to special summon himself back, and then activate Splash Mage effect to bring back the Defensor. So bear in mind, Defensor's effect has not been activated this turn, which means if he goes to the grave as link material, I get special summon another Fireball card. But I overlay the Guardian and and Circular for the Elevation, which allows us to search for any Mathmech card. Now, I have already normal summoned, so I grab the addition. From here, I do believe I link 3 into transcode, which then does trigger the Defensor. So there's the transcode. Defensor effect now activates, which grabs us the Firewall Phantom and special summons that. And then the transcode effect will activate as well to bring back the Splash Mage, because why just have one effect when you can have multiple? Let's get popping. So from here, we are in a very good and very commanding position. Our opponent does still have those 2 face downs, which is a little worrying. He still hasn't activated any of them. But you can't live in fear. You have to play and hope for the best. And that's what we do. So we are having a little look at our face down cards just to see if there's anything worthwhile. I decide to activate the Cynet Mining, ditching the Ghost Ogre for cost. I have no idea what I'm looking for here, because we've used our normal summon. We have addition in hand if we want the extender, and so not entirely sure what's going through my brain here, but let's see what happens, eh? So we are now having a little read over our extra deck. I believe I was trying to find a way to go into the Firewall Singularity, but yeah, it's always good fun. I decided just to go to Terahertz again because that is always the safer play. 90 Terahertz is just a beast. But because I've activated Circular's effect, I am locked to only attacking with 1 monster. Bear that in mind. And then I do power him up by 1,000 with the addition. So and then send that card. So he is currently sitting on 6/5 attack. Now, stupidly, I send the Spell Trap card negate. However, if I sent Pegasus, which is a wind attribute, I could then attack twice. However, I thought the Spell Trap negate might be useful against his 2 back row, and that's why. But I could have gone balls to the wall there and gone that all-out super offensive play instead. Same, I could have gone access code and tried to push the access code OTK as well. But we live and learn. You have to, even though you can't let the back row put you off, you still have to bear it in mind. You can't pretend it's not there fully. But from there, he decides to scoop it up. He knows he knows that's game, and that is game. We take this 2-0.